So I've read the book, I've seen the movie, and we need to talk about it because what was that? So if you don't know what The Housemaid is, this is a wildly popular thriller which is best-selling, I think, all over the world, and I recently read it because I was curious before I watched the movie. It's fast-paced, it's thrilling, and it's also kind of short. It's only 300 pages, but you fit a lot into those pages. It's about this girl, Millie, who is desperately seeking a job, and she finds a job at this rich family, the Winchesters. It's a living-in position, and she moves in with the wife, Nina, and her husband, Andrew. And everything seems great at first, but Nina seems more and more weird and is maybe trying to make Millie's life more and more difficult. Andrew seems more and more devastated, and as the story progresses, Millie might suspect that she might be in some kind of danger. But the thing is, the Winchesters, they don't really know who Millie is either. And I'm a person who likes thrillers, and I read a lot of crime, and I thought this was a fun time. Like I said, it's quite short, it's only 300 pages, and it's really easy to read. I read this in 2 evenings. I could maybe have read it in 1 if I wanted to, and I enjoyed my time. When I read it, I liked the characters, I didn't see the plot twists coming, and like I said, I had a good time. And then I went and saw the movie at the cinema, and I must say, I really like going to the movies. So I thought it was fun to watch there too, but if I would have watched that at home, I might have wanted my time back. There are quite a few differences between the book and the movie, and some are minor. For example, they have included a very beautiful set of china plates that plays a very important role in the movie, which wasn't mentioned in the book. But there are also some major changes, which I don't really understand why they went for. First of all, the cast wasn't really like I imagined it when I read the book. The wife, Nina Winchester, who is played by Amanda Seyfried, is not what I expected. I think Amanda does a great job doing that role, but I imagined Nina much older and also less good looking if we compare it to what was written in the book. I also think that Sydney Sweeney did the role well, but I also imagined her a little bit older almost, because they are almost equally beautiful in the movie and also almost the same age, and I thought there would be a little bigger difference between the two of them. There are 2 other major changes that made it feel almost like a different kind of movie. First of all, I thought the timing in the book was quite well written. I thought the story had time to develop, it was exciting, it was building up to something that felt more and more dangerous. You had time for the relationships to develop and also the characters to get to know each other and the story to progress in a good way. Like I said, I didn't see the plot twists coming, and I thought the book was exciting to read. But in the movie, things felt quite rushed. I thought you could almost see hints of what was coming too early, even in the beginning of the movie. And since the movie felt a lot faster, there wasn't this time for doubt to grow or relationships to show, which also made the motivation behind different things feel less accurate. So I think the timing was a lot better in the book, and it also made the movie feel a lot different. When you saw the movie, you could also suspect what was coming a lot earlier, and I missed that kind of build-up in a thriller. The other main issue I had with the movie compared to the book was the tone of everything. And I don't know if they felt like they needed to handle it this way, because there are quite heavy subjects they are handling in the book and in the movie. So if you're thinking of reading it or watching it, check your triggers, because there are some quite dark tropes. And I don't know if they were trying to make it a little less intimidating for people to watch or a little less heavy in the movie, but I still think that they could have done a lot better with that. In the book, there is so much more focus on psychological terror and also abuse rather than physical violence, but I think they didn't show that very well in the movie. And that has been done in tasteful ways in other movies, so I don't see why they went away from that. They also added a lot more humor into the dialogue in really weird places. For example, they even added a jump scare scene where it wasn't necessary. And even though I laughed sometimes, it almost made the movie feel a little bit ridiculous compared to the book. Because I didn't think that the humor fit the story, and that made the movie feel like some budget horror movie instead of this thriller. And I can understand that you need to add some visual elements when you're making a movie out of a book, but I still also think that they added a lot more blood in the movie compared to the book. So they added humor where it didn't fit, they added a little bit gore, and they took away this lingering psychological terror, which made the book interesting. And that also made the tone of the movie feel really weird. So should you read this or should you watch the movie? If you like reading thrillers, then I think you could absolutely read this. But like I said, check your trigger warnings. But it's interesting, it's fast-paced, and I enjoyed reading it. It wasn't like a 5-star read for me or anything, but you could read it if you're interested. And if you're new to reading thrillers and want to try something out, I can recommend this as well, because it is intriguing from the first sentence and you really want to know what happens, so it's easy to get lost in the story. And when it comes to the movie, I honestly don't recommend it. I thought it was fun going to the cinema and watch a film with my friend, but I don't think it held up to the book, and I don't think it was that good actually. So that's my opinion. Have you watched the movie or read the book? Do you think there are any other major differences? Please comment down below with your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more movie versus book videos.